And great job, everybody, on that Olympic question. As you all obviously can see, it's a big undertaking. It's massive, and it's probably left people with more problems in the host cities than not when it's run its course. But it's still such a grand event, and people will spend $100 million, as one of you pointed out, to just put together a bid. And it's a very interesting topic. Again, jury's still a little bit out, but I think most economists say, wow, this is, in the long run, has proven to be a burden more than a boon. On the other hand, you say, well, what about an event like the World Cup? Well, the World Cup in soccer, different animal, because we're talking one sport, and we tend to regionalize it around the entire country. The next one is actually going to be split by the North American countries, U.S., Mexico, and Canada. It's a different animal because you're not building all these specialized sport venues, and you can, because of the number of participants, which frankly is dwarfed by the number of Olympic participants, it's much more manageable, and it leaves people with useful venues after it's done. I mean, I've seen kind of the leftovers in Montreal, and it's very interesting to me. But it just, Montreal used to be the poster child for it, hosting the Olympics back in '76, and just barely recovering from it now, almost 50 years later. So it's quite an animal that we need to look at. I think then I'm going to throw in as a little bit of follow-up question here, and let me see if you can look at it this way. I'm going to go back literally thousands of years to the origin of the Olympic Games in the Greek Peninsula, okay, which was to them probably pretty much the known world at the time, and at least the known civilized world that they dealt with. And it was a huge event then. They stopped fighting wars so everybody could go to the games. What if, though, like the original Olympics, which had one host place, Mount Olympus, right? Olympia. What if the Olympic Games were to develop a permanent site where every 4 years everybody looked forward to going to that site? That's where it was, and this was developed and specified and through international agreement that this was going to become like the holy site of sports. And maybe it is. Maybe it's go back to ancient Greece and go back to Greeks and build the ultimate Olympic site in the shadow of Mount Olympus. Okay, that's a specific, or what if it is some other permanent site somewhere else? And you see that with, it's very interesting in sport economics. Now, think about it. You see the problems, but the problems get spread out too, right? We keep leaving these things behind. What if one place were specifically designated as the Olympic site? And it's interesting. We see it on a much smaller scale in other sports, right? If you go to our soccer guys, let's go back to England and everything, right? The big game always ends up being at Wembley in London, right? Take an individual sport like golf, the Masters. The Masters is always at Augusta National, right? But the Opens move around. So there are benefits, there are arguments in either direction. Let's see if we can think about that for a minute. Would any of your arguments change if we went to one site, one permanent site? Interested in seeing what you have to say. And this week's off to a great start. If anybody has any questions about that consultants project assignment, please let me know, and we'll go from there. Thank you.